Welcome to Planet Marzipan Podcast,
your fish and Marillion podcast,
where we talk about all things in the planet of Marillion and fish. I'm Meza, and here's my mate,
Craig Houston.
Hello, and welcome to Planet Marzipan. Welcome to a discussion on one of our mini pods in our Charting the Single series. I'm Meza, and I'm here with my good friend,
Craig.
And we have guests today. We welcome back Lucy Jordash.
Hey.
And Mikey Kay.
Hello, hello.
Hello. And for our first proper episode, we tried to review Misplaced Childhood, and I think we probably will have to go back to that, Craig, won't we?
Massively, because all we actually did was review the deluxe, didn't we? We didn't actually do a deep delve into all the Anorak shenanigans.
I think if Anorak deserves 3 episodes, Misplaced at least deserves a revisit, but we'll talk about some of that today.
You were new.
Years next year.
You were new. You didn't know what you were doing.
We still don't. As you know. But we're here to talk about the song that changed the course of the band.
Kaylee!
Turned them into a pop group for a bit.
Yeah. There is a Wikipedia entry for Kaylee in its own right. So it says Kaylee is a song by British neo-prog band Marillion. It was released as the first single from the concept album Misplaced Childhood. It is the band's most successful single in the UK, where it peaked at number 2 and stayed on the UK singles chart for a total of 14 weeks. It also became the band's most successful single worldwide, reaching the top 10 in Ireland, Norway, and West Germany. In the US, it gave the band their sole appearance in the Billboard Hot 100 chart, reaching number 74 in October 1985. The song popularised the name Kaylee in the UK. It was later performed by the band's lead singer Fish at the Nelson Mandela 70th birthday tribute at Wembley Stadium, with Midjo on guitar and Phil Collins on drums.
I'm sure that Nelson Mandela was really, really appreciative sitting in his dungeon in South Africa going, I wonder how that fish is doing.
Well, so this single was released on the 7th of May, 1985.
7-inch, 12-inch, 7-inch picture disc and 12-inch picture disc.
Yeah.
Oh, blame me, back in the day.
But we just had a quick look, Mikey, haven't we? And we don't think the 12-inch picture disc came out at the beginning. I think that was a late addition.
Yes, we're not entirely sure how far into the top 40 when it came along, but certainly EMI must have noticed it was doing well and went, let's have another format out and keep it in the charts.
Doesn't sound like EMI at all, does it?
Oh,
not at all.
Lucy, you were in your fandom at this time. Well, you still are in your fandom, but what are your memories of? Well, okay, I don't know what that shrug means for our listeners.
She was 12 at the time.
What are my memories of Kaylee?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I'm different to a lot of the fan base in that I didn't like, and still don't, any other progressive rock. So for me, Kaylee wasn't selling out.
Yeah.
It was just another great song by the band that I really loved. I didn't really see it as a huge change of direction, which is a bit, because I thought there was some quite pop songs on Fugazi, for example. It's just what your definition of pop is, Yeah. But anyway, for me, what I noticed was that. Do you remember that Dido album?
No Angel.
Yeah, everyone had it, and it was called a coffee table album.
Yeah.
Misplaced Childhood, I could see, was very much a coffee table album. That and Brothers in Arms by Dire Straits, I think, was around about the same time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, like my cousin said, oh, I've bought a copy of Misplaced Childhood, because of Kaylee. And they disliked the rest of the album because the rest of the album isn't like Kaylee. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, I bought that Misplaced Childhood by that band you've been going on about. So I really noticed that a lot of people bought Misplaced Childhood because of Kayleigh, but didn't like the rest of the album. So, whereas if you'd bought Dido's album because of the big song that I can't remember, you would have liked the rest of the album. So I think Kayleigh was always difficult for the band in that respect. Kayleigh was always going to be a big hit, but I don't. And Misplaced Childhood was a hit because of Kayleigh, but not because necessarily of the rest of the music on there for the wider public. Because for me, progressive rock, or whatever you define it. I mean, what was that bollocks that you said? Neo-prog.
Neo-progressive, yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
It's rubbish. It's just a title that people like to hang on a
Rubbish.
group of bands, you know.
But the music that Marillion made and makes was never going to get into the mainstream. It would have been the same for H-era Marillion if No One Can had the money behind it and been the hit that it deserved. People would have bought that album and gone, oh, well, that doesn't sound like No One Can. And
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like if you buy a Coldplay single, the Coldplay album's going to sound the same. You buy a Taylor Swift album, the Taylor Swift album's going to sound the same, you know. But Marillion are so up and down in their music. It'll be rock 1 minute, it'll be progressive rock the next minute, and then maybe a pop song. And they've always been like that.
Did you see the band on the Farewell to 84 shows where they played a rough version of the first side of Misplaced?
Yes.
So we'd heard Kayleigh amongst that, hadn't we? Really?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, there's no secret about me being a total prog head, but I didn't hate it. I loved it. It wasn't, like you say, it was a bit of a progression on from Fugazi for me. And it was really nice to be able to say Marillion and people knew who you were talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, Punch and Judy on Fugazi, I think that's a pop song.
It is.
Yeah. I don't think that's a progressive. For me, a progressive rock song is an Ocean Cloud. It's a long thing. It's a complicated thing. It's not a short song. I don't really know how to articulate what I'm trying to say, but it didn't feel that much of it was just a really good, and it still is. It's a really good pop power ballad.
Yeah, I think with the Rothery riff and the chorus, that's what puts it more into the sort of mainstream pop area. The way it's sequenced is completely wrong because you've got a solo after the first verse and chorus, which you would never have on a pop single. But I think those two hooks are what sold it to a lot of people.
Yeah, and you know, it's got a girl's name in it. It's got the word. Is it too late to say I love you? You know, when you're 15 and 16, you love songs with love, you know, because look what was it? The statistic I found, something like in 1985 or something, in the UK alone, something like 19,000 people babies were christened Kayleigh or something ridiculous like that. So it really broke into the mainstream, but they didn't have the pop songs to back it up, if you see what I mean.
Yeah. Mikey, you got any thoughts about your feelings at the time? You remember hearing it for the first time?
I do. I was 11, so a little bit before my record buying days. But one thing I did do once a week was I used to sit cross-legged on my parents' living room floor with the VHS recorder in front of me, record and pause button pressed down. And when Top of the Pops came on, it was a case of take finger off pause. Do I like it? Do I not like it? If I didn't like it, it got stopped, rewound, and set up again for the next artist. And I remember this band coming on, and it was their first performance on Top of the Pops. I believe it was when they were at number 7. And my finger was off pause, and I was like, oh, I quite like this. And it wasn't something that I would probably listen to, even at the age of 11. I was, like Lucy says, it was a pop song, and I was very much into pop music at the time. And I just remember Fish being this presence on stage, and I loved the song anyway. I was hooked from the first listen. I think I was marginally aware of the band and that they'd done something before, but if they had done Top of the Pops before, hadn't they? With was it
Garden
Marcus Gregg,
Party,
was it?
Yeah.
Garden
Garden
Party.
Party, and Punch and Judy.
So the finger mustn't have come off paws on them ones, but yeah, I remember that vividly, and having rewatched that performance, and surprised to hear Fish doing live vocals over the backing track, which wasn't the norm for Top of the Pops back in the day.
No,
It really wasn't.
no.
And him standing there in his what can only be described as a Russ Abbott outfit at the time, looked like he was going away on holiday. And then I know for a fact I recorded Kayleigh twice off Top of the Pops. Because I remember on his second performance, he had that black sort of like Scottish outfit on, and he just looked so imposing, but he looked like he was loving it. And those memories are quite vivid and stuck with me.
Yeah.
And I remember my mother watching the same thing on Wogan when they were on.
Yeah,
And
when I was
Wogan
looking
is-
online, I found the Wogan piece today. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
And
So that'll have
interestingly
given
enough,
them tremendous exposure.
interestingly enough, the guests on that episode of Wogan, let's see if we can remember what these people were for. Right. So the guests on that episode of Wogan was Michael Praed.
Oh God, I
Robin,
can't-
Robin of
girls
Sherwood.
of girls of a
Loved
certain
him.
age, as soon as you mention Michael Praed,
Robin Hood, Prince of
Robin
Thieves.
Hood,
no, it was Robin of Sherwood.
Robin of Sherwood, yeah.
yeah.
That's what
And
I
then he,
meant.
yeah, and then he went into Dynasty, wasn't he? He was a prince of, was it for some dodgy country when
Oh,
they did
he
that
was
Dynasty
so
massacre?
pretty.
Yeah. And Sarah Douglas was on that episode as well, who was the female bad guy in Superman 2.
Oh yeah.
And she was Pamela in V the Final Battle. That's where Mike you remember as well from.
Yeah.
Craig Charles was on that episode as well.
All right,
Was one-
yeah.
Red Dwarf.
And Alan Titchmarsh.
Oh,
There you go.
Oh, wow.
There you
Star-studded
go.
lineup.
Star-studded lineup. So at least pretty much people have all heard of her.
Isn't Fish wearing some sort of like pink pastel top or something? He looks very sort of summery.
Yeah.
It's very
yeah.
strange.
It was
Days of
definitely
the-
Russ Abbott-y, yeah.
Days of the Shell suit and all that.
Yeah, yeah. And what about you, Craig? Then, so what are your memories of first hearing this?
It was my mate Ralph who was just playing Misplaced Childhood to death. I think when the single came out, the first couple of weeks when the single came out, I was on holiday in Belgium. So some of it kind of passed me by, to be fair, early on that. But when the album came out, I was like, play this. So like he was playing it like every day. So I got like indoctrinated in it. So I didn't pay that much attention to the singles, but I was, and I knew the album backwards by the end of the summer of '85. I can tell you that.
Yeah, yeah. There was, as we said earlier, there's a 7-inch picture disc initially, and a 7 and a 12-inch.
got that.
With a reaching over with an alternative mix of Kayleigh on it, which is
Got
all
that.
sorts
Which is
of
just drum heavy, isn't it?
80s drum sounds and stuff, isn't it? Yeah. And then also an extended version of Kayleigh, which I think is just more of the
The
same.
album version, pretty much.
It's the album version, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just the album version.
Um, There is literally only 27 seconds difference between the 7-inch and the extended version.
It's just his guitar solo. Just
Oh.
the guitar solo cut down, really.
Yeah. I think
Never
I
done that
find
before,
Mikey,
have they?
there's 5 inches difference, but you know.
Well, here goes the smut. Here we go.
Kill Lucy.
Men and their inches.
I know.
It always sounds better in metric.
At least 6 inches.
The other thing to talk about with this single is the B-side, Lady Nina.
Oh, we love it. I love
Ugh.
it. Love it, love it, love it.
Horrible.
Okay, let's get
It
We,
Lucy.
we all
out
love a
of the
song
way.
about a prostitute.
Not a fan, Lucy.
No. Genius or bollocks? Bollocks. Horrible.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm right. I'm right.
Go on,
So
then,
this
Mikey.
is-
What do you think of Lady Nina?
I think it's better than the A side, but
What?
I'll probably get
Oh,
shot.
what's wrong with
I'll
you?
probably get shot for that.
You probably will,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. I think it was wasted as a B side. I
Yes.
understand because I know how the band felt about it. That it was never going to be anything other than a B side. But when you look at the releases as a whole, I think it was a missed opportunity and should have been held back.
Okay.
I think when you look at B-sides like Lady Nina and Freaks, there might have been an opportunity to have done a double A side, an EP. But we can discuss that when we get to the third release from the album, I think.
Yeah.
But Lady Nina,
Lucy's
for
going to
me,
hit you with a hammer.
Freaks has got it as well.
What?
I just think it's another perfect pop song, and lyrically,
Hanging up.
it's a bit, it is a bit, but I just think it's got so much power. I really do,
Yeah.
and I love it to this day, and I still have it in heavy rotation, especially the 12-inch version.
Greg?
Yeah, I've always loved it. I have. I'm sorry. I'm going to
Hang
get
on.
beaten up by Lucy now.
No, just pause the recording. I've got to listen to it for a second. Just, sorry, you're gonna have to cut this out because
Yeah, we'll take it out.
you don't have the rights. But I just want to
Just remind yourself of the glory of Lady Nina. Have you got it?
oh, right. You can come back again now. That
Not
was
awful.
It's awful, and it's not even Ian playing, so it's
It
awful.
is Ian playing. He talks about it in the documentary.
Yeah, but
The
it's
bass drum is Ian, and the
Yeah,
others were playing other drums.
it's awful.
But
It
it's
was an
very, it's
A-side.
very,
And the Americans put it out as an A-side, didn't they?
Yeah, what did they
yeah. Didn't
do?
the A&R guys from AMI actually really like that song? And I think they, as well as Kaylee, they wanted that, but the band obviously wasn't part of the album or something. So, yeah.
Was that the same A&R man who fell asleep whilst listening to Misplaced Childhood and woke up and said, "Have you got anything else?"
Yeah, there you go.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. I mean, it was. I'd say it was an A-side in America with a unique piece of Mark Wilkinson artwork with a lady with a very long neck stood at the bottom of a spiral staircase.
Not one of Mark Wilkinson's best artworks, but
Which,
yeah.
well, no, but it's very collectible. If you're a collector, it's hard to get hold of now. So if you've got one,
But,
keep hold
yeah.
of it.
But I mean, the Kaylee artwork is quite iconic, though, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
Yes,
it
That's
is a really good single cover. And,
it's pretty. I like the Misplaced Childhood, and I like the Kaylee artwork because I never liked the jester and all the, the faces ripping shit apart and all that. I like the pretty stuff because I'm a girl.
Yeah, you could. Mums would have been happier that there was something that wasn't going to scare the children.
Well, I
Yeah,
had
that was it.
God, such else.
Yeah, I had Misplaced Childhood. My friend who was an artist painted it on the back of my leather jacket, the album cover.
Did you?
Loved that. Yeah, I gave that leather jacket away on Facebook a few years ago to
Right.
someone on my Facebook page, and I decided I'd never wear it again. So I gave it away to someone. But it was a lovely jacket. Got a picture somewhere.
Yeah. Well, if that was you that got Lucy's jacket, please put a post on our Facebook group and let us know.
Gabrielle something. I can't remember what her name was.
Right.
Anyway.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the video?
Yes, shot in as then Germany.
I thought you were going to say shot in Asda for a minute there.
Well, it wouldn't be because if it was the time, it probably would have been Gateway, not Asda. So
Okay.
get your tables right. But yeah, so Fish did his old to a young German girl. Do you want to be in a video?
Look where that ended up.
Look how that ended up. Yeah. Mind you, she should have seen it because the first video she was in, playing a love-struck kind of girlfriend. Second video, she played a prostitute, Lady Nina. See where that went.
I liked the Kaylee video. I thought it was cute and to the point.
Yeah. And Robert Mead, the young kid from the artwork, was in the video as well. So a nice link there. But yeah, it's a good video. And Fish did a kind of sequel to it when he did Gentleman's Excuse Me, didn't he? We'll
Really?
talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that on Charting the Single in months' time, months and months' time, when we get to the Fish singles.
I was just looking through some of the lyrics from the early versions. So in '84, the lyrics kind of weren't set in stone. He was sort of busking it every night. The chorus on the version of Hammersmith in '84 is Kaylee, we could have a garden. Kaylee, we could grab it one more time. We could mow the lawn on Sundays. We could catch our suntans from the breeze.
Sorry. That's really shit.
That's why I didn't stick with it, innit? Yeah. Kaylee, we promised it forever, but Kaylee, the secrets, they're gone. We could buy a house in heaven. We can always try and take us along.
Oh my God. But the thing is, you say it's shit, but I think we said this on I said this on one of your previous podcasts. I can't listen to H when he's the demos and stuff, when he's trying to work out the songs. Ian will bring them home and play them, or I'll be at the studio when they're doing stuff. And I literally stick my fingers in my ears because I don't want to get used to something.
Yeah.
And then have it ruined with actually what would have turned out to be the most perfect version. So back in those days, I didn't bootleg gigs or whatever, so I would have heard that version, as you say, at Hammersmith, and then it wouldn't have been stuck in my brain. So him changing the lyrics, I probably wouldn't have been aware of, if that makes sense.
I think live, there's probably just an element of making it scan at that point, wasn't there? And then it can be a bit more, look at the lyrics in a lot more detail pre-recording. But yeah, I just thought it's just a nice, take on the early version of it.
What is it? We could have a lawn.
Yeah, we could have a garden.
We could have Kaylee, we could have a garden. What?
Kaylee, we could grab it just one more time.
Grab the garden.
I'm surprised there wasn't a version of Kaylee, we could have a mortgage.
Yeah, this is what happens when you lock your lead singer away and tell him to write some lyrics sharpish for a song that needs to come out.
Yeah. But yeah, as we say, the EMI kind of got on board once the single was heading up the charts and put out a 12-inch pitch disc.
Yeah, it didn't actually peak in the charts until its 5th week, which is quite a long time, because I say it came in at 15, went up to 7, then to 4, then to 3, then to 2, then to 4, 7, 10, 13, 21, 28, 51, 56, 59 and out. But
what was it kept it off number 1?
There's 2 songs. Wasn't there Paul Hardcastle's 19, or was that?
Sorry.
A couple of weeks earlier.
Right.
When Marillion were at 3, Paul Hardcastle was at 1. And then You'll Never Walk Alone by The Crowd, which was in a charity single for the Bradford City Fire. That kept them off number 1 in their 5th week, like Craig says. But strong top 10. And to be fair, when they came in at 15, they were the 2nd highest new entry that week. It was only Duran Duran with The View to a Kill that came in higher as a new release.
Right.
So
have you got the top 10 for that week, Mikey?
The top 10 for that week for Go Backwards.
You got to do it in your kind of like Mike Reed kind of.
It's the wrong theme tune. You want the Phil Lynott one for this one.
All right.
Anyway, you've got My Tie at number 10 with History. Madonna at number 9, Crazy for You.
Whatever happened to her?
Scritti Politti had The Word Girl at number 8. Gary Moore and Phil Lynott had Out in the Fields at number 7. Duran Duran had A View to a Kill, climbing up the charts at number 6. And Emotion had Obsession at number 5. Suddenly by Billy Ocean at number 4. And Paul Hardcastle had dropped down to number 3 at that point with 19. Kaylee at its highest point at number 2. And You'll Never Walk Alone by The Crowd at number 1.
Wow.
They achieved...
It's very different to anything else in the top 10, isn't it?
Well, you say that, but again, I think it's still quite a poppy top 10. And I think Kaylee sits lovely in there. I think they've had every right to be in that top 10. And there's some hard hitters in there. And I think they did really, really fantastically well to get a number 2 position. But yeah, got to 250,000 plus copies.
It would have, but they did okay off it, didn't they, really?
Yeah, but a number one
And
would have
Made such a difference, wouldn't it?
better off it.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you'd be included in a lot of, number ones thing.
I,
And
what do you think
yeah,
about?
there were.
Do you think the band would still be here if it hadn't happened?
Ooh, legacy stuff.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay, that's that then.
yeah. Just an aside,
yeah.
for 1985, they had the 32nd best-selling single of the year
Okay.
with Kaylee.
32nd.
32nd.
Can't do anything with that. 29th
No.
would have been all right because I would have said a top 30, but 32nd doesn't work. I don't like the word top 40. I like top 30
Yes.
Preferably top 10.
or number one. Number one.
Anything else you wanted to say about Kaylee, guys and girls?
Well, I mean, there's a fair bit of legacy stuff with it. I mean, obviously there's the girl's name thing. In Dallas Shields, the lyrics were put up on the market square on the ground, weren't they?
It is the only song that the British public in the main would know if you said
Yeah.
Marillion, they'd go Kaylee. And that's understandable, so fine.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at Peter Kay's Car Share,
Yeah.
the character was his female sidekick was called Kaylee, and that led up right till the very last episode of season 2, where they actually played the song where in his mind where he's actually going to tell her that he loves her, he's walking on top of the cars with Kaylee playing. That was quite a big thing at the end of that series.
It's one of the controversial. Can we have the controversial button?
Controversial klaxon. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Controversial. There's a lot of the Fish era songs that H sings. There's a lot of them where I don't actually like listening to the originals anymore. I think H has taken them and made them his own, i.e. Warm Wet Circles, blah, blah, blah. Kaylee is one that I don't feel like that. I prefer to listen to Fish singing it than H singing it.
Yeah.
It just, I can't even articulate why.
I'm just glad that they still play it. They still sort of, they don't shy away from playing.
I haven't played it for a very, very long time now.
Conventions, though, we get it occasionally, don't we? Yeah.
Mind you, what would be nice to actually have up on Amazon, on the streaming services, it is on Spotify, but I don't think it's on Amazon, was the Best Sounds album.
I'll mark that on my list.
Yes, because there is a studio version. It is the studio version of Kaylee with H singing it. And it's a nice...
There is, and I will get it up as soon as I can sort that out.
Because that's a nice little album with a lot of what a lot of people don't realize is that there's some good re-recordings on there.
Yeah, consider it done.
Any chance of a vinyl on that, Lucy? No.
No. Shut up about your vinyl.
Okay. Hang on. Can't talk about 5.1 now. I can't talk about vinyl. Okay.
I'm going to be releasing loads of vinyl over the next couple of
Okay.
years. You're going to be so excited.
8-track cartridge? No. Okay.
No. No laziness.
Okay.
Kaylee.
One last thing though, John, as well, other stuff. The film frequently asked questions about time travel. The film, it's on the soundtrack and it's in the Wikipedia and it's on the titles at the end, but I cannot hear it in that film. There you go.
And that's why you're here.
And a recorder.
Who the hell would know that?
Who could?
Even folks in the film don't know that.
It's that Craigipedia shitting in, isn't it?
Yes. We've been away for a while, folks.
What I've got in my collection, when I was at EMI, we used to get sent from the other offices around the world any songs where people wanted to sample or cover Kaylee so that we could give permission or not. And have you heard any of these?
Oh yeah, there's some interesting versions.
I was going to say you probably have when you come to my house. There are some crackers. There's one by his name. He was a black rapper from Switzerland. and his name was Tony, and he did a version with like a gospel choir, and oh my days, I love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, how do I get that out there for people to listen to? Because I'm sure nobody cares and nobody owns the rights anywhere. Maybe I'll just upload it on my Facebook page or something, because it is just brilliant.
Yeah.
It is just brilliant. And there's a few dance tracks kept with that have got the sample of
Yeah, there is
in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And I don't. None of them were big hits. We gave permission to all of them because dance music in the 90s was big.
Yeah.
And if one of them had cracked through, think of the Verve, Bittersweet Symphony, that song, whatever it was used on, I can't remember. No, sorry, for the Rolling Stones,
they pinched the Rolling Stones version.
Yeah, but that was the riff. So you always go, yeah, have the riff, because if one of them, has a hit with it, then hello,
catching.
I always remember you saying, Lucy, that you would have absolutely loved like somebody like Take That to cover No One Can, or
yeah.
No, that would have been good.
That would be your two worlds colliding, though, wouldn't it? How would that work?
How would I?
You would be a puddle. You'd be a puddle on the floor.
I'd literally explode, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
But yeah, because I'd love to see it, and I'd love to see the money. If I'm honest.
I mean, Robbie's getting a bit more adventurous covering stuff now, isn't he? What's the chances,
Robbie did She's the One, World Party.
Well, he did Park Life, didn't he, with Danny Dyer?
Danny Dyer. I'm Danny Dyer. Robbie's done lots of covers, and I could list you a list that would make your eyes weep. But yeah, well, no, I don't have any. But I'd love to see that happen. Or BTS from South Korea doing No One Can.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. Actually, what you need, definitely a K-pop group.
And Marillion fans shouldn't care, because it wouldn't make BTS fans suddenly buy the whole Marillion back catalogue, but that one song would make us some money. Oh, it's terrible human being. Anyway, I'll find a way to get this Tony song up for the fans. So tell them, come on.
What is it called? Is it still called the Kayleigh then?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Right, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you hang on, I can dig it out the drawer and show you the cover, because it's got cover and everything. It was released as a single. I don't even know if it was released. I don't think it did very well, but I love it. But I'm sad like that. Anyway, goodbye.
It's good. Good stuff. So, Marillion's biggest selling single of all time.
I love it. Gotta love it. We're here today for different reasons and variations for it. It's helped their bank balance and made them continue. So, and they didn't get dropped from EMI, which there was the threat after Fugazi. So
yeah, absolutely. I firmly believe that it's one of the reasons why they're still here.
If it had cracked America, not even cracked, but if it had been a huge hit in America, that would be lovely in terms of ongoing royalties.
But they had the cards stacked against them because of Capitol Records.
Well, yeah, and that people like Mikey were going, "Why don't you release Lady Nina? It's really good."
He was only 11 though, so no one was listening to him.
Yeah, because wasn't that controversy in 84, 85 on Capitol Records over mobster stuff and
payola stuff, was it?
Yeah, stuff like that, and a lot of the radio stations were not playing Capitol songs.
Yeah, it's the unseen hand of Marillion.
Oh yeah. Yes, we've already talked about the unseen hand, haven't we? When talked to Bitoga.
If it can go wrong.
Yeah, if it can go wrong, it will.
It will go wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, thank you very much for joining us to talk about Kayleigh. Lucy Jordache.
Hooray.
Mikey.
Hey.
And Craig.
Thank you very much, ladies and gents.
It's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Take care.
And stay alive. Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Planet Marzipan Podcast. Please like and subscribe from whichever platform you get your podcasts from. You can contact us at planetmarzipanpodcast@gmail.com and check out Marillion.com, fishmusic.scot or fishmusic.eu for all the good stuff.